Okay, well, let me start, and then people can join in when they arrive. So my name is Todd, and I'm a program manager in the School of Continuing Studies, and I look after the digital and content marketing program. I also look after an accounting program. I look after information privacy, learning experience design, public relations, and I say that because I am not an instructor in the program. I'm actually not a practitioner in the field of digital and content marketing. I manage the program, so I look after obviously the instructors and doing these kinds of marketing sessions and budgets and retention, all those good things. The integrity of the curriculum is obviously something I look after, but I always say the most important thing I do is to ensure that my students have a successful experience. So if anything during your studies with us, you've got questions about that are about integrity or the instructor or anything, then I want to hear about that so I can make some improvements to make sure it's a great experience for you. So that's really my goal from a customer service perspective. I am recording the session, so if people need to jump off at any point, that's fine. If you want to share this with your manager, if they're supporting you, or friends or colleagues, whatever, we'll sort of share this back in the next week or so. If you have questions, just dump them in the question box. I will probably not get to them until the very, very end, and I'm happy to stay on this call as long as possible. I do have a 1 o'clock meeting, but if the questions are coming in, I'm happy to sort of stay on as long as I can. I'll talk for about 25, 30 minutes at most, and then I'll leave the last half hour for your questions. So that's sort of how I usually do these sessions. But our agenda for today is just to sort of share a bit about York, if you're not familiar with us. Sort of why study in Toronto, why the digital career in digital marketing. I'll certainly go through the program details a fair bit. I'll show you a video on the live online format, which is relevant for all these programs. And like I said, then we'll do a Q&A at the end. So before I get started, I just wanted to actually get to know you guys a bit better. And I had a couple of poll questions that I wanted to send your way. So let me just pull them up. So the first question is, I was just wondering why people are interested in our program. Oh, sorry, which program they're interested in, sorry. The digital marketing program, the content, or the full-time digital and content. Give people another second or two to vote. Okay. Okay, perfect. So you can see from the results that most people are interested in the full-time program, which is great. I'll certainly talk a lot about that. The second group is the digital group, which is the most popular program by far that we offer, or that I look after. And then a few of you want the content, which is fine too, because that's certainly growing in popularity. So I will speak to all those things. Great. Okay, next question. I was just wondering if people are actually already registered in our program, or they're just trying to understand if this is the right fit for them. So just a quick yes, no. Okay, give people another second or two. All right. Most everyone voted. So it looks like most people are not in a program, which is perfectly fine. I'll go through all the details of our program and why I think it might be a good fit for you, all those good things. And if you are enrolled, which is terrific as well, hopefully we can answer some questions that you may not already know, or at the end, ask me specific questions. That's fine. I will say, though, if you have specific questions about content details, I may not be able to answer it, as I said earlier, because I don't teach any of the courses. And if I have to get back to you with some of the answers, I will certainly do that. Okay. Next question. I was just wondering if people are domestic or international. I'll speak to both, but just wondering where people fit. Okay, most people voted. Okay, very cool. So most people here are domestic, which is great. Our part-time programs in digital and content are all domestic students. Our full-time program is probably 60-40 international, and I'll certainly speak to that as well. But just good to know that most people here or domestic. Actually, if you are from international, if you're an international student and you're not in Canada at the moment, it's probably some crazy hour in the middle of the night. So we do appreciate you guys being here for sure. Okay, my last question is just wondering when people are hoping to start their studies, just to give me a sense. Are you looking to start in May, September, or in January? Another second there. Okay, cool. Okay, so you can see here that most people are looking to start in May, which is great. There are not many spots available for the part-time program. I think there's about 12 or 13 spots left for digital marketing. We do have some spots open for the full-time program, so that part's fine. And if you're looking for September and January, then that's fine too. I think registration for those programs are currently open and the application's open. But if you think about May, you definitely need to be making some decisions very quickly because we're close to selling out. Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, let's hide that. Make sure you guys are seeing my slides again. Perfect. Okay, so you may be familiar with York University, maybe you're not, but just very quickly, we are the School of Continuing Studies. The university obviously has lots of degree programs and grad programs and all these wonderful things, but in the School of Continuing Studies, we offer certificate programs. We have students from all over the world. Like I said, we have a lot of international students in our full-time programs. We have part-time programs. We have full-time programs, depending on which format and program fits you best. All of our programs are designed by practitioners. Our instructors are practitioners. They're very accelerated, which I'll talk about in the presentation part. And we definitely have different formats. Like in this case, we've got a part-time program and a full-time program, and I'll explain how they're different. So, you guys may know this, maybe you don't. I didn't ask the question earlier in terms of are you currently working in the field or whatever, but I've done some research recently and looked at the most in-demand marketing skills in the field of digital and content marketing. And really cool and really happy to say that the top 4 we do offer in our program. They are covered in our program, which is great. Product and UX design, actually, we have a certificate in UX design. So if that's something that really sparks your interest, you can certainly do a full course certificate in that. Okay, so I say this only because I think it's nice that we're hitting the target on when you do our program, you should be eligible and add value back to companies based on these in-demand skills. You may know this, but in terms of typical job requirements and like the pathway to get a job, I really strongly encourage people to go to Indeed and Monster.ca and all those different sites and really look to see what they require from the jobs that you want to get. But in many cases, it's like a degree, some type of post-degree certificate in digital marketing or content marketing. And then there's also, these other credentials, which, you certainly should be looking into in terms of, Google Analytics and Google Ads and Facebook and Salesforce and all these other tools and things that demonstrate you can add value back to a company. So just doing a certificate in digital marketing certainly gives you a leg up, but there's lots and lots of different other ways you can add on to your knowledge and skills on top of our program. And in terms of like the pathway, again, maybe you guys know this, but these are some of the sort of jobs that I think our students would be eligible for. We've pulled some data about salaries, which is, again, different jobs. Is it in Toronto? Is it in Saskatoon? Is it a coordinator role? Is it, whatever? But somewhere between 45 and 80,000 is pretty, I think, normal for the field. And you can really see in the job growth, which I was really interested when I pulled the data, in terms of the digital part, there's been a 158% increase in the number of jobs in Toronto, which is great. But on the content side, really, the increase is much greater. So even though the number of jobs is much, much less, you can see it's really a growing field and people looking for content marketers and people who can write well and can, really work in that space. So certainly in my humble opinion, having a digital and content marketing really sets you apart from other people in getting some of those jobs. Because even if the job is in digital marketing, having some knowledge and expertise in the content side of things and adding value to those team meetings and those conversations and those projects, I think is actually a real selling feature for you. So why do our program? So obviously, there's lots of great reasons, but going back to that slide I showed earlier in terms of the in-demand market skills, we really do, I think, offer a very comprehensive program. And I'll go through the courses in a little more detail later on. But you're certainly going to, graduate from the program, having some real knowledge and skills, and be sort of, qualified for these roles in digital and content marketing, like I was just talking about. It's a condensed format. So the full-time program is 8 months. The part-time programs are around the same, just because of you do one at a time, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But really, I think gets you to market much faster. The other thing that we do in our programs is we try to incorporate what we call the soft skills or cross-functional skills. So yeah, certainly having skills in SEM, SEO, data analytics, that stuff is great, but it's also the other things in teamwork and problem solving and having empathy and understanding your customers and all those sort of soft skills. It's really important as well for not just getting a job, but also being successful once you get there. So we try and incorporate some of those things into our curriculum so that you're learning in class when it's a safe environment, and you can sort of, again, practice those things, because if you don't have those skills, that's okay. But if you don't have them when you're actually in the job, it's going to have a much bigger impact where you could get fired. So better to learn them now, struggle with them now, than in the real world where there's a higher rate of urgency to get those skills. And the other thing I think about our program, which is quite unique from many others, is the fact that it's a cohort-based program. What I mean by that is the same students that are in course 1 are the same students in course 2 and course 3. If it's the full-time, it's course 4 and 5 and 6, all those things. And what that really does, it allows you to sort of build this community, this network of peers and support that you can carry through the whole program. Because even from our poll today, people come from different angles, right? Some people have some experience, some people don't. Some people have some education in marketing. Some people have some experience in marketing. So it's not just you sitting back and listening to the instructor and writing down what they say as much as you can and regurgitating that back. It's really about the instructor learning from you, you learning from the instructor, you guys learning from each other. So I think that really sort of bodes well in that cohort format. The other thing I think that we do, which I think adds a lot of value to you as a student, is we add these other sort of opportunities for you. And I'll just touch on a couple that I think are really cool. So one is called 10,000 Coffees, which is actually a new initiative, and it's a relationship with RBC. If you're not sure what that is, it's the Royal Bank of Canada. We pay them a lot of money to be part of this, which is good for you because it's free. So what 10,000 Coffees is, it's a free thing where you can sign up, and what they do is they connect you with people in industry. So it's not always someone in marketing that you're going to connect with, but it's somebody in maybe finance or HR. It could be marketing, but it allows you to sort of have a coffee with them, maybe virtually because of COVID, where you can start to network. Because at the end of the day, sending in a random resume is great, but really getting to know people, and maybe the first person you connect with on 10,000 Coffees, doesn't work in the field, but maybe they know someone, or they have a friend, a neighbor, a family member, a colleague, whatever the case may be. And you can do that all over and over and over and meet as many people as you want to build your network, which is so important. The other one I want to talk about is called Level Up by Ripen, which you can see in the bottom left there is a little icon. And that's a new initiative. It's actually a government-funded program and Ripen is the one who's administering it for the government. And any student that's enrolled in a higher education program, so it could be university, it could be, I think, a college, it could be a short certificate program. It doesn't have to be a degree program per se. And what that is actually these are real life opportunities that you can do on top of your schoolwork. So it has nothing to do with our program. It's totally separate, but just the fact that you're in our program makes you eligible. And what they do is they have these real life projects, and they pay students $1,400 to participate. You can do it as an individual, you can do it as a group. If you do it as a group, every member gets $1,400. There are about 80 hours of effort, so depending on how long that might take you. The only one thing I will say for international students, unfortunately, you're not eligible for this opportunity because it's a government-funded project, and only domestic students are eligible. But again, I say this because the more you can sort of get these opportunities, build your portfolio, build your network, it's going to make you much more valuable when you go and search for a job. Okay, and who are our students? So our students are everyone just like you. So some people have university or college graduates. Some people have some experience in marketing. Some people are totally new. Some people have their own business and they're saying, hey, I want to kind of learn more about digital marketing so I can promote myself. Some people work in a role that has some marketing, but maybe it doesn't have the digital side and you want to kind of upgrade your skills. So we've got newcomers to the field, career changers, people upgrading knowledge, as I was just saying. And then obviously we have international students who want to study and work in Canada. So that's really more for the full-time program. And just for the international students that are here with us today, I just want to make it very well known that the IRCC, which is Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship Canada, that's the sort of name of the group, they currently are allowing international students to study 100% online and still be eligible for their postgraduate work permit. And that's due to COVID. So as COVID changes, as we hopefully get back to more, on-campus sort of normal study, that may change. But at the moment, if you are an international student, you can stay in your home country and study with us online and still be eligible for your work permit after the program ends. So that's really cool. So I'll talk more about the format in a moment, but just want to make you aware that that is certainly that the government has put out, which we obviously follow. So in terms of the actual programs, so as you may know from the different materials you've received from us, we offer three kind of options. We offer a 3-course certificate in digital marketing, which is the 3 courses you see with the arrow there, obviously. I won't go into any details on the courses because you can look on our website and get little descriptions and that kind of stuff. If you have questions, just shout them out later, but I'm not going to go into any detail on the courses. Then you've got the 3-course certificate in content marketing, okay? So that's a totally separate content on its own and then digital on its own, okay? And for those 2 programs, they're taught in a blended format. And what we mean by that is we basically have 7 weeks of online content and 1 weekend block, which is a Saturday, Sunday per course. Now, because of COVID, we're not meeting on campus. We're doing it via live online, which I'll show a video in a second or two to explain what that is. But that's how each course will run. 7 weeks of online and 1 weekend block. Now, the weekend block sometimes is in week 2, sometimes it's week 5, but all those dates and stuff are on our website so you can plan your schedule accordingly. There's no application for those 2 programs. So these 2 programs here, the part-time digital and the content marketing, have no application and direct enrollment. So just enroll. They do sell out. Certainly the digital marketing, I should say, sells out. We've got, I think, 65 spots for this May term. And I think I looked today, there were 50 registrations. So not many spots left if you want to do that. If you want the content, then obviously that's not until September. So you can obviously wait for that. As I mentioned about the cohort sort of format, instructors are practitioners, and all the courses have projects. There's not many exams and things you have to worry about. They're more project-based, so you can really get some real practical skills and build that portfolio. Okay. If you want to do the full-time program, it's basically taking the same 3 courses from the digital content marketing certificate and the content marketing certificate, and then we've added 2 additional courses, one in fundamentals of marketing and one called business in the digital age, which is like a business 101 class. And this is really for students who don't have any experience in marketing. Before you do a deep dive into the digital and content, we want to make sure you have the foundation understanding of what consumer behavior is and what branding is and how do you price things and what your target audience is and where does marketing fit into the bigger business of an organization. So that's those 2 courses, which are the first 2 courses in the full-time program, and then you start to delve into the more digital and content courses. Now those courses, like I said, are full-time and they have a little more structured schedule. So they have specific days and times that you meet. Those are set. You'll actually be meeting with an instructor. Live instruction is how the full-time program works. You can see from this schedule, you're in class Monday through Thursday. You can see from the schedule, you're in the same class on Monday and Wednesday and a different class on Tuesday and Thursday. Each class meets for 12 sessions. So it's like six weeks of these two courses. That's like a block. Each course is 3 hours, as you can read from the 3:30 to 6:30 time slot. I think people should budget around 8 to 10 hours of effort each week on top of the live instruction, because you've got readings, you've got assignments, you've got practice opportunities, all those good things. And the other thing I was going to say is you have your Fridays off here, but that's the same schedule you'll have for the duration of the entire program. So this won't change, for the second term. You can definitely plan your schedule around life and work and family, whatever, knowing that that's the exact dates that you'll be in class. Again, if people have questions on the format or the part-time versus the full-time, we can talk about all that stuff in the Q&A. Okay, so let me now show a video of the live online format. So because we're in COVID and all of our the weekend block for the part-time program and the actual instruction each week or each day in the full-time program is done live online via Zoom. So there's opportunities for small breakout rooms, large discussions, whiteboard activities. We try and replicate what you would sort of have in a full-time sort of in-person experience, but we're just doing it online. So this is a little video. It's 1:40, and it'll just, I think, explain a little bit of how that live online works. So let me pull that up. Oh, you know what? I apologize. I actually did not load it. I have a different video loaded, but it's not that one. So I will. I guess I won't be able to show that, so I apologize for that. But I can explain it a bit. So it's just like this is obviously not Zoom, but it's Zoom, and then you're in a classroom with all your peers. It's the same sort of schedule. There's opportunities for you to interact with your peers, with your instructor. The instructor may sort of have a little bit of a lecture. There's going to be guest speakers and stuff. There's time for you to have small groups where you can kind of meet and sort of have little conversations if you're working on a case study or something. Do that in a little small room, and then come back to the bigger room where you're actually going to be, having a full discussion. So that's kind of what the live online looks like. I apologize that I didn't load the video. When I went in to look at this webinar, I saw videos, and I just assumed it was there, and I didn't look close enough. So I apologize for that. Oh, I should also say the video is actually on our website. So if you go to our website, you can certainly watch the video there. It's just on every single program page. Okay. For the full-time program, we do have an application. I should have sort of said that earlier. But for the part-time programs, we don't, but the full-time we do. So the minimum requirement is 6.0 with no band of 6. It's a very competitive process for the full-time program. We get a lot of applications, so usually the IELTS score is a bit higher than just the minimum 6.0. I do ask for a video statement of interest, really just asking 2 questions. Why are you a good fit for the program? And how does the sort of program fit into your career goals? I also need a resume, and then there's an application fee. And remember, this is only for the full-time program. So if you think about doing the part-time programs, there's no application, it's just direct enrollment. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today, and just in terms of sharing some insights on the field of digital and content marketing, a bit about our program, a bit about sort of why I think it's a good program and why you may want to consider registering, and hopefully it just gives you a little more insight. And now I'm certainly happy to open up to answer some of your questions. If you have questions outside of this session today, certainly feel free to reach out to the folks on this slide here. Take a photo of it if you like. We have an advisor and we have a registration team. Once you register, if you have payment questions and that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll leave the slide up here, and then I'll go to the questions. Oops, sorry. Okay. All right. Let me. So I apologize now if I say your name wrong. So sorry about that. So Manasi is asking, are we allowed to work full-time in our home country while studying the full-time course online? Yes. The only sort of, if you're an international student, there are restrictions around working when you're in Canada, but I don't think there's any restrictions around you working in your home country. So absolutely not a problem for me. Obviously, you got to know how to balance your time and your schedule and work and that kind of stuff. But certainly, I don't believe there's any visa requirements that I'm aware of. But I'm not a visa immigration person, but I don't believe you have to sort of worry about that at all. So, but you may want to reach out to iAdvisor. Here, I'll put that in the chat. One sec. So iAdvisor, I think everyone should be able to see. I just said that. iAdvisor is our York International. That's like the International Student Office. That's a great question for them because they actually have specialists that deal with immigration that can answer that question. But I don't think you should worry about that. Divya is asking, the 3:30 class doesn't suit me. What do I do in this case? Yeah, so maybe a little more information would be helpful, but I'm assuming maybe you're an international student and you're currently in your home country, and 3:30 is like the middle of the night for you. So yeah, at this point, that's the time of the course. We do offer travel letters if you want to come to Canada, even though the program is live online. There's no in-class at the moment. You can still sort of be in Canada and take that program. But if, unfortunately, if that's the time and it doesn't work for you, then you just have to, I guess, wait until we're back to full-time in person, and then you're in Canada and you, just like any other normal pre-COVID kind of program. So yeah, that's the only offer I can sort of share with you. And Keita's asking, does the full-time program have any placement options? No, there's no placement options built into the program. Certainly, if you want to get a job of some sort, you can international students can work usually a few hours a week. That's fine. I do get people sending me internship opportunities, and I literally just forward those right back to students. So that's just for you to contact that person if the opportunity comes across in your inbox. There is the Level Up, which is certainly an opportunity for you. Oh, sorry, if you're an international student, that's not you're not eligible for that. If you're not an international student, that's another option is the Level Up experience. So hopefully I answered that question, Ankita. Parth is asking, can I work full-time in my home country? I think I already answered that. I would definitely reach out to iAdvisor, but I believe you can. But again, I'm not an immigration expert, so don't take that. But I don't think it's an issue. So Reva's asking about the part-time. Okay, so maybe there's some confusion there. So the part-time program is asynchronous. So there is no live component except for that weekend block, Reva. So that schedule I showed is only for the full-time program. So let me just go back to that for a quick sec. So this schedule is only for the full-time people. I probably should make that much clearer on the slide. So sorry for the confusion there. In terms of the part-time program, it's 7 weeks of online, and the online part doesn't have any required be online Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for anything. Those things may happen, but they're optional. The only thing that's required is that weekend block for the part-time program. So hopefully, Reva, I've clarified that for you. I'm sorry that I may have confused you earlier. I should probably update my slides to make that clear. Oops. Okay. Ashley, that's a great question. Ashley's asking, how does the part-time courses contribute to the CMA, which is the Canadian Marketing Association? We have no affiliation with them at all. Our courses have not been approved by them, so I don't really know their process. They offer their own courses in similar topics, but in terms of our courses meeting their requirements for the designation, you'd have to probably reach out to them to see if you can, share your grade report and see if you can get credit for them. But we don't have any formal affiliation with them at all. Okay. Hope that answered your question, Ashley. Okay. So Pawan is asking, I'd like to do 2 programs, which is fine. So the question is, a lot of times international students want to do 2 programs because for work permit reasons, if you do 1-year program, you get a 1-year work permit. If you do it 2 years of study, and they can be 1 year twice, you get a 3-year work permit. So the other programs that we offer, Pawan, currently that are full-time are business administration, human resources, accounting, blockchain, and this. So those are the 5 that we currently offer. So you have to choose one of those 5, or maybe there's another school that has a program that might be a good fit for you as well. I'm not sure I understand your second question, Pawan, about the IQAS. I'm not familiar with that document, so maybe you want to sort of clarify that part of the question. So Lauren's asking, when's the last time to apply? For all of our programs, it's really more about when they fill up. So the part-time program in digital marketing does fill up. We do sell out almost every single semester. And we now actually have 2 sections running in the fall and the winter. In the summer, we just have the 1. So yeah, it's just a matter of, they're open for registration, so you can certainly register whenever you want to confirm your spot. Parth, sorry, I'm not sure I understand that. Do we get CRS points? Can you maybe just clarify what CRS is? I'm not sure what that means for the online. Arun is asking about the application process. Yeah, honestly, there's a video statement of interest, which is important. We asked the question around why this program interests you and how it fits into your career. So your responses to that are sort of important to me. Students who have high IELTS scores and that they can communicate well in the program, and I know they're going to be successful. I look at grades to see how you did in your degree studies to make sure that you can work at a high level. I look at resumes to see like work experience and stuff and see what people have done. And yeah, I just want to make sure people are really committed to the program, because truly some people, their motivation is to come to Canada and work, and it's not the program, which, that's their decision. But I try and find students who are really committed to the program and want to be in the program. So hopefully that answered your question. So Manasti is asking about, for international students, the amount of time you're allowed to work. I am not an immigration person. I don't want to give that information out. You definitely want to connect with iAdvisor, and I think I put that in the chat. Hopefully people see that. It's just iAdvisor@yorku.ca. If you have a question about, or you can't see that, just send a note to the advisor and ask them for the International Student Office, and they can share that information with you. Preeti's asking about the different dates and stuff of the class, when the breaks are. If you go to our website, here I can maybe do that. One second. So just give me one quick sec. I'm going to just see if I can get to our website and I can show you a couple of things. Oops, sorry. Okay, so you guys are seeing my website. That's my website. So if you go to our website, you can see the fees and stuff of the program. There's different fees for domestic and international students. If you click on like the Learn More button here, it takes you to this page, and then you can click on the Enroll button. And then under the course details, it will actually give you the different dates of things. So again, just have to sort of navigate our website, but all the different schedules and when the courses start and end, and here are the descriptions and stuff of the courses, give you a little more detail. And that's where you can sort of find that information. Okay. Diva is asking about, oh yeah, she's just commenting that 3:30 to 6:30 is 5:30 p.m., which isn't too bad for you. For some people, like I know in India, it's like literally 3:30 in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, so definitely a little more challenging. Manasi's asking about the September intake. At this point, it's going to, for full-time, this is again for full-time, the full-time program will start live online, and then we're just going to have to wait to see what happens with Health Canada, the university, This university as a whole is making arrangements to have some in-person courses. I don't know if that means our courses will be in person yet, but we will certainly be following, guidelines and things from the university to figure out, when to bring students onto campus safely. So yeah, it'll definitely be starting live online, and it may switch, come January. We just don't know. So Dee is asking about the recorded sort of live sessions. We do record them. That's not how the program is built. So if your plan is to just sit and watch the recorded sessions, that's not really how we intended it, and we would certainly discourage people from doing that. If you've got interconnectivity issues, you need to watch a session back because you missed it or whatever, that's fine. But if your plan is to sort of watch all of them back, you're not participating in class, you're not participating in the group activities, and there's lots of things that happen in that class that you'd be missing out on. So definitely discourage people from doing that. So let me go back to my other thing. Okay, so I think people see my slides again. Nope. Oh. Sorry, my mouse isn't working very nicely. Oh, I know why. Sorry. Sorry, give me a sec to get my slides up back. Okay, sorry. So there you go. Okay. So somebody was just asking again about the schedule. So this is the schedule for the full-time program. So that's in terms of the full-time. Again, if it's part-time, there's no schedule. It's all online. And when you do the work during the week, it's totally up to you if it's early in the morning, in the afternoon. But there are no required sessions you have to attend except for the block weekend. And that's sort of, again, on the website when those dates will be. Most of the courses don't have any textbooks, so don't worry about that. A couple do, but most of them don't because there's really no content that's specific to digital and content marketing. So there's no worry about that. All great questions, guys. Thanks for doing this. It's good. Oh, and Keith is asking about panel discussions. So yeah, a lot of the instructors bring in guest speakers. There's tons and tons of guest speakers in classes. Not every class maybe has it, but lots of guest speakers. So in terms of hearing from industry professionals, talking about their own career pathway and whatever, that's certainly a part of the program. I also offer an Excel workshop, usually trying to do it once a term. That's free for you as well if you want to sort of build up your skills in Excel, because Excel is, I use it every day, some shape or form. Yes, part students definitely have access to the library, 100%. At this point, it's just curbside pickup, but with your sort of York ID, you have access to journals and articles and even movies and things you can sort of access. I'm sure you all have Netflix or some of those other streaming services, but they do have those kinds of things as well. So Kristen just asking about the schedule for the part-time. Let me just sort of go back and bring that back up. Oh, here it is. So it's one weekend block per course. So in course 1, it'll be a Saturday, Sunday. In course 2, there'll be a Saturday and Sunday. And in course 3, there'll be a Saturday, Sunday. So 3 weekends in total in the entire 6-month program. Again, oh, sorry, my questions went to the top. I gotta scroll back to find where I was just at. Oh yeah, found it. Okay. Hopefully, Kristen, that answered your question. Sorry if that was confusing earlier. Sherry's asking if you can do each of the courses in the part-time program and still end up with the full-time certificate. The answer to that is no. Like, they're 2 different programs. Even though the course is the same, because of the cohort sort of model, you're doing the same course with the same students in the part-time or the same students in the full-time. So you can't bounce back and forth between the 2. Divya is asking if this job is going to help her getting a job as a SEM coordinator. Certainly it's going to help you, but there's so many other factors, to be honest, like What do you interview? What other experiences do you have? What does your portfolio look like? How well do you interview? All those good things are also what make up you being a good candidate for a job. So just because you've got the certificate, don't think that that's going to automatically get you a job. And I would also encourage people to go on to monster.ca and Indeed and look at the different jobs. Go on to type in the search bar SEO coordinator and see what they require for some of their jobs. Is it work experience? Is it just a credential? Those are all the different things that are important in you getting a job in the field. So I don't want to make the say that, oh, do this program, you'll absolutely get a job, because I just don't think that way. I don't think it's fair, and I want to be honest and transparent, but it certainly will help you. But anyway, that's my take on where our program fits in with the job market. Yes, Arun, good question. The full-time program, only the full-time program allows one transfer credit. So if you've taken like Marketing 101 in your degree studies, you wouldn't need to take it with us, and you can get a credit for the fee, for the tuition of that course. But only one in the full-time and none in the part-time. Okay. Manasi's asking about deferrals and stuff. Yeah, so the way it works is if you have visa issues, you get denied or something happens, yeah, we'll absolutely work with you to defer your studies to the next time. No worries about that. I think I answered that. Just to confirm for Peggy, so the part-time program is cohort-based as well, so the same students in course 1, 2, and 3. Some of the courses will have group work. Some of the projects are done individually, so it just depends on the project and the course. But you'll definitely be working with the same students for the entire duration of the program. Yeah. If that didn't answer your question, Peggy, just let me know. Rawan's is asking about, what if I get a full-time job while I'm studying? Well, yeah, you got to make some decisions. Obviously, you can certainly, if you get a full-time job, we want to make sure you're successful. So if you want to transfer to the part-time, you can. That part is fine. You just can't bounce back and forth between the two. So if you want to transfer the part-time, you'll end up just getting the part-time certificate. And then you get 2 certificates, which maybe there's more value in that, I'm not sure. I think I've answered the question, Divya, about the working from home. You definitely want to reach out to iAdvisor. So Linnell, there is no application for the part-time program. So there's only an application for the full-time program. So if you're just thinking about doing the 3 courses in digital marketing, it's a direct enrollment. Go to our website, click on register, like Amazon, add your contact information, your credit card, and good to go. Majda is asking just about the assignments. So mostly project-based, very few exams. Again, individual and group projects and things like that. Preet's just asking about being on campus in the fall. At this point, it's just somebody unknown. Would be great if we are, but we're planning for the live online to at least start the program, and then maybe come January we can, if it's safe, we'll bring people on campus. In the full-time program, Arun, I usually have about 55 or so in the full-time program. We're usually close to full, so that's the target for that program. Udit is asking about, are there any pre-knowledge of digital marketing? Absolutely not. So if you're in this part-time program, certainly having some understanding of general marketing is helpful, only because obviously you're going to be doing a deeper dive into the digital aspect. And if you don't understand how consumer behavior works and branding works and some of those sort of general marketing concepts, you may have to do a little catch-up work, that's all. In the full-time program, we provide that intro to marketing course, so no worries there. And you're in the digital program because you don't have any experience in digital, so from that perspective, there's no expectation of that either. I think I've answered that. Aish is asking, sorry if I said that wrong, in terms of the transfer credit. So yeah, you just need to send an email to the office with your transcripts and your, I need a course outline to confirm that the content in that transfer credit course is the same as the one that we offer. So pretty straightforward. It doesn't require much. Oh yeah, the transfer credit has to be submitted before the program begins. Very important. You can't do, not the course, the program. So if your program starts in May, that transfer credit has to be submitted to me before the program starts in May. Even if the course is not until October, it's when the program starts. So very important on that. No exceptions are made for that. Part is asking about the Career Resource Center on campus. We do have access to it for some components. What we don't have access to is probably the part you probably want the most, which is the job bank. So they have lots of online workshops and things which you can attend and drop-in sessions if we're on campus. What you don't have access to, unfortunately, is the job bank because you don't pay some of the fees and things that degree students do, so we don't have access to their full services. So yeah, that one's unfortunate. We're working trying to figure that out, how to better, service our students, but at the moment, you don't have full access to the Career Resource Center. Manasi is asking if students can stay on campus. I think you can as long as there's space. I don't really get involved with that. I think you can. It'll probably, if you do want to stay on campus, it's probably going to be all undergraduate students who are like 18 years old, which may or may not be of interest to you. But if you're more of a mature student, you may prefer to be off campus. Okay. Aisha's asking about the start date for May. Yeah, honestly, I don't have that date in front of me. I look after so many programs, sometimes I forget. I think it's around the second week of May, but just go onto our website, or if you have any questions, you can always just reach out to, I'll put it back up. Just reach out to the advisor and they can sort of answer that question. Pawan's asking about the live sessions. They're live, like they are literally like this, live in person. We do record them, but some courses also have some pre-recorded stuff that was done when we developed the material in the course. But the live sessions will absolutely be live. They're not just pre-recorded that you sit and watch for 2 hours. Okay, Arun's asking a question. Let me just read it. Oh, Arun, that's a tough question. He's just asking, it's a personal question about his current work situation as an intern, and should he sort of, I think you're asking if you should give that up and then come and do our full-time program. That's really up to you. I mean, if that internship may lead to a full-time job, like that's pretty good. Level up can be done many times, so there's many opportunities to earn the $1,400 bucks. You could do the level up at any point. You could do it while you're studying with us, while you're doing your internship. There's no requirements or restrictions. As long as you're a domestic student or a permanent resident, you're certainly fine to do that. So yeah, if you want to have a little chat about that, I can certainly try and get more insights, but that's really a personal decision, what you think is best for you. Udit, I'm not sure I understand your question. I'm an international student. How much time does it take off my offer letter? I'm not really understanding that question, so maybe you want to share that a bit more, explain that. Parth is asking about the decision time frame of when I review applications. I get a lot of them, and I try and get through them as quickly as I can. I don't do them always in order when I receive them, to be honest. I like to be transparent. So I'm working through them. I was doing some today, so that's a good thing. And I've got about 25 left that I have to review in the next couple of days. So hopefully soon. But again, it's just one of many things I do, but I'm always trying to, knock off because there are a lot that I do have to review. Oh, Divya just wanted to confirm that it's May 7th the start date. So thanks for sharing that. I'll share that back to everybody else. You're welcome, Arun. Cool. Good. Lots of questions, guys. This is amazing. Part's asking a question about an instructor, but I'll sort of leave that offline because I don't think this is the place to talk about that. Okay. Okay. I'm happy to stand as long as people have more questions. So if you have more questions, certainly let me know. If I didn't answer your question, certainly repost it. I think I got to all of them, but if I missed something, certainly let me know. Oh, sorry, there's a good question there. Sorry, one sec. Okay, actually, I see your question. I may have missed that. Okay, so Jacqueline's asking, if we open back up the classes on campus, do we have the option of still doing classes online? So if you're in the full-time program and we go to be on campus and you don't want to come to campus, you could always transfer to the part-time certificates. You wouldn't potentially get the postgraduate certificate. You wouldn't potentially get your postgraduate work permit if you're an international student. But at this point, if we switch from online to in-person for the full-time, we'll do our best to accommodate students and their different needs and things, but I imagine you'd have to be in person if you wanted to continue in the program, unless we're going to make alternate arrangements. But a lot of times I should just sort of add, it also depends on the IRCC, because the IRCC may sort of come to say, you now need to be on campus to get your postgraduate work permit. So a lot of times we follow their lead in how we develop our programs to make sure that you can meet the requirements of them to get the postgraduate work permit. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question, Jacqueline. I don't know if you're an international student or not, but okay. So Ashley's just asking about two different associations, the Canadian Marketing Association and the Certified Marketing Management Professional group. So I'm actually not that familiar with either of them, to be honest with you, so I don't know how much I can really tell you how they're different. Yeah, so I would probably, ask them or, do your own research to sort of figure it out. You can also go to LinkedIn, right, and sort of just search for somebody who has that designation and see if maybe there's somebody you can reach out to and just connect and ask them. But unfortunately, I don't really have much that I can offer. There's lots of questions here that may have missed. Manasi's is asking what type of student clubs are eligible to be a part of. I think you can be a part of any of them. I don't think there's any limitation to you being part of a student club. They may have some restrictions that say only degree students, but I don't believe that's the case. So no worries there. Part's asking about the different jobs people get. Truly, I don't really keep track of that stuff. Sometimes students will send me a note saying, hey, I got this position or I got this job, but I don't at the moment keep track of it, so I can't really share what kind of jobs people get. I certainly know that we just recently did a grad survey to sort of try and collect some data about how many students are getting jobs and is it in their field of study, and at some point we'll be able to publish that, which I think will help answer some of these questions, but at the moment I just don't have any. Okay, so some Beal is asking just a question about the cost difference. I don't have it in front of me, but for a domestic student, the full-time program is around 6,000 and change, and the part-time program is 2,000 and change. But obviously, you have to do both part-times if you want to be equivalent to the one full-time. So it's probably around 6,000 for the full-time, and if you did both part-times, it's around 4,000 or so. The difference with the part-time, I should say, though, is you're only doing one course at a time. So it'll certainly potentially, no, actually, it shouldn't take too much longer. You could probably do 2 part-times if you so choose. As long as the weekend block dates aren't on the same day. If they are, then you've got a problem. Okay, so Reeve is asking, sorry, let me read the question. Okay, so Reeve is just asking about the how-to. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of how-to, but it's not a certification in Google Analytics where you're gonna come out and be an expert in Google Analytics. If that's what you're asking, but you'll certainly dive into Google Analytics and understand how it works and really put your hands on it. But it's not a certification course. So if you're looking to sort of get some real skills in Google Analytics or Facebook ads or something, you certainly may want to do one of their certifications. One, it's just good to have on your resume, and 2, they're going to go into it much more in depth than we will, just because it's not a how-to program. It's just sort of understanding digital and how to implement it and the strategies around it. And you'll certainly be doing projects with looking at analytics and data and that kind of thing, so you'll certainly understand it all, but definitely not a how-to. I don't want to make any claims that it's a how-to program. So Rohit is asking, I'm an international student, I've applied for the fall intake. Can I plan my travel to Canada after the end of term, say around the end of December? I would say at this point, don't make any plans, don't make any flight reservations, because we just don't know what the fall is going to look like. So once you're accepted, we'll be sharing information around what's going to happen, when to do it. So but don't make any plans at the moment. I think that'd be not a great decision. So Arun's asking about the CMA. I think I've already covered that. We don't have an affiliation with CMA, which is the Canadian Marketing Association. So yeah. So Manasi's asking about the exams, the course assignments and things. Like I said, there are very few exams. It's mostly project-based. There may be some quizzes. Maybe one course has an exam like the Business 101 class, but pretty much they're all assignment-based. So yeah, so Aisha, we'll send this entire recording to you so you can watch it back if you want with all the questions and my answers and things. So Sebastian's asking about the part-time programs. The part-time programs are gonna, once they start online, they will continue and complete online. So don't worry about that. So if COVID sort of changes, that weekend block would not, if you start the program and it's gonna be all live online, we won't change that midway through for you guys. It's only going to change for the full-time based on IRCC requirements that says international students now need to be on campus or they need to be in Canada. That sometimes drives our decision-making. Manasi's asking about traveling to Canada again. I wouldn't be making any decisions on that. We do provide travel letters, but once you're accepted into the program, we can provide better information about guidelines about coming to Canada. But at the moment, there's nothing that stops you from coming to Canada. But if you're not coming for essential reasons, then the border may not allow you to come into the country. So definitely a question for the International Student Office, for sure, the iAdvisor email I shared earlier. I think I've answered that question pretty. Yep, Jacqueline, we'll send this recording to everybody, so no worry about that. Oh, Manasi's just asked me to repeat about the 10,000 coffees. So yeah, I'll just do that very quickly. So it's just a free initiative that we've got with RBC, which is Royal Bank of Canada. They've got this huge database of all these wonderful sort of people that are in industry, and you can sign up and tell them your interests of marketing or digital marketing or whatever, and they connect you with people in industry to talk with and have a coffee, so you can kind of learn their pathways and how they got to their position and get some feedback on, hey, what steps should you take, and just sort of being like a mentor in a sense. And you can meet with lots of people through this 10,000 coffees. So that's kind of a cool thing. Okay. So you can sign up for it anytime, Manasi. So yeah, there's no time. It's actually on our website. Sometimes it's hard to find, but it's on our website. I think it's under Career Connections, it's called, or something. That's where you can learn more about it for sure. Career Connections on the website. It's 1 o'clock. Okay, I do have another meeting to get to. So if there are no more burning questions, I will sort of say goodbye to everybody. And thanks for all these questions. They were amazing. I really appreciate you guys being engaged and asking all these questions. So yeah, so any questions, reach out to the advisor. I hope you consider our programs. They are competitive and they do fill up, which is a good thing, but it just means you may need to make some decisions sooner than you may need. And yeah, stay healthy and be well, everybody. And thanks again for joining us. And Arun, just to answer your quick question, yes, through the duration of the program, those opportunities are available. You're welcome, Yudit. Glad to answer all your questions. Hopefully you learned something helpful. Yeah, you're welcome, Ashley. Yeah, no worries. You're welcome, Manasi. Okay, I'm going to sign off, and I just wish everybody well. And yeah, any questions, let us know, and hopefully we'll see you in class. Okay, bye, everybody.